Hi, my name is Sarah Murphy, and I'm trying to hopefully reach someone somewhere out there that will listen and hear this and look into the situation that I'm in and do something to help my family and myself. I am doing everything I have. I'm using every fiber of my being I have right now to try to keep my family together and keep us safe. I was in a relationship with Justin Youngblood for 4 years, and he emotionally and physically abused me. It's mostly emotional for most of the time, but I dealt with it, and it got really bad physical. And right before Thanksgiving, he punched me in my face. And my middle son now, he was 2 at the time, in my arms. We were in bed, and he punched me, bloodied my nose and blacked my eye. And I was seeing a therapist, Sue Peak Fisk, and she made a report to social services every week through the month of December. I called the police, and the first time, my son cried because Justin had threatened to kill me. He was going to cut my head off. He would kill me. He would kill me and himself and leave the children as they be. And that was it. That was my breaking point. And when James came to me, my oldest son, who is now almost 10, that was it. I got a protection order. I called the police when he got belligerent. I had called his mother to referee pretty much because that's what I was told to do. Don't call the police. Don't call the police. Call me. Stupid me. And that time I got tired. I called the police. And in the police report, it was my neighbor's son that arrested him, Ramage. And in the police report, he stated he got belligerent and hit his mom over marijuana. In every report, it says domestic violence. But because they don't specify the domestic violence, because 3 counts and 5 years in Kentucky is a felony, they didn't do anything. They do the mandatory reports to the county attorney, John Cunningham, but that's his mother, Paula Morris, is Justin's mother. That's her boss's husband. So, no, nothing ever happened. His family is very well known. Judge Crooks, check out her website. We have Dexter Youngblood. Check out Mayfield, Kentucky. They own the town. And we can't tarnish the Youngblood name. We just can't do it. He's a couple cousins away, but we cannot ruin that Youngblood name because it's been there and we're established. Anytime you call the police, it doesn't matter. And I met this woman named Diane Anderson through my therapist after I went into labor with my son, who it was told, I have a little bit of extra money and you need some help, and we're going to make sure that you see you're going to be fine. Don't worry about anything. It's going to be alright. Her and Tanette Whiteloaf, her friend, saw where I was living and saw how Paula would hide in the corn and just stare at me, and I couldn't walk out my front door without him glaring at me. But the cops and everybody thought that that was okay. That was an alright way to live, to have to look at somebody you have a protection order against every time you try to walk out your front door. Now it's come to the point where Diane Anderson, she helped me. She did a lot for me. And when I had Jacob, it depressed me because I was going to give him up for adoption. And so he didn't have to live this life. I don't want my kids to live this life anymore. There's so much that I could say. I don't have enough time. All I'm asking is for somebody to please hear this and look into it, because I have the papers, because it has gotten to the point that they have, Diane, through Project Pearl Ministries, has filed a federal, they've got a felony for theft out for my arrest. Because they went to court in Kentucky and the judge signed it, even though Jeffrey Alfred, the lawyer I had representing me, who was Diane's lawyer, stated to the courts and stated to Rebecca, an official at News, that he had told the courts that he was unable to contact me and asked to be taken off as my attorney, but sat in on the conversation, being Diane's attorney, on the proceedings of the court, which shouldn't have been because I was never notified. And they gave him temporary custody and emergency physical entitlement. 2 days later, they gave him sole custody of my 2 kids. And there's no paternity on my youngest son, Jacob, under pituitary. I talked to a domestic violence attorney, Meg Savage, out of the state of Kentucky, and she said it sounded just like what you think it is. It's under the good old boy clause. That's what you got into, is the good old boy clause. What is a good old boy law? Will you show me in Kentucky statute where good old boy law is? Because that's a pretty screwed up law, I'll tell you that much. Because if you hate somebody, and you don't know somebody, and the other person does, you're basically screwed. So they have these warrants out for me, and from what I understand, I don't know exactly what the warrant is, but it's minor. But I go to jail, my kids go to CPS, he gets my kids. And he takes them, and I don't get to see them. I get no visitation. I have to go back to Kentucky to fight it. Which, if they get their hands on me, it's over. That's it. I ran. When I found out what they were doing, I found out that they were violating the court order. I found out that they were getting money from them. And then when I threatened to say something, you better keep your mouth shut or you're going to lose your house, your kids, and everything. That's what I got from Diane. And she did it. They did it. She took my house. She owned the house I lived in and everything. This stuff, I do know the stuff she's trying to say I stole. No, I did not steal anything from her. Nothing. They refused to give me my stuff. Nikki Knight is the police officer that was called, because they called the police on me twice. All I'm saying is my name is Sarah Murphy. I need help from somebody. The court document that gives him custody is a joke, because it states in there twice that I was notified, and I wasn't. I wasn't ever notified. And they took my kids. They took my kids away from me, the person that's been taking care of them, when he himself cannot take care of himself for Social Security. He can't live by himself because he's disabled. He's violent. And I have a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old that he's supposed to have never laid eyes on, and they're going to give him my kids? I have a 9-year-old. What about the best interest of him? The best interest of my kids, take my kids away from me and put them with him? Why? So they can beat up on women and think it's okay? So that they can think that they're above the law? Is this alright with everybody? I don't have much time left. And I know that I'm probably going to get arrested on this soon. This is coming out of Graves in Marshall County, Kentucky. My name is Sarah Murphy. My date of birth is 12/21/81. My children are James, Jack, and Jacob. He is Justin Youngblood. It's under Judge Crooks out of Graves County. Sue Fisk is the family court judge's brother-in-law, sister-in-law in Marshall County. Diane Anderson, she is a licensed foster care parent in the state of Kentucky. She lives in Benton. Tanette lives in Benton. They have Facebook accounts. Look at this. Look at these things that are going on. Somebody pull these records. I've got a bunch. Call me. I'm sending emails.